Hello everyone, good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. I am Rohini Kaur and today we have in-house Panshul with us. Now this guy has scored, secured rank 4 in the mock for IPMAT, and that is something which is an achievement because if you have started preparing for your dream college, and if you give a mock and if you secure a good position, that means we need to ask him how is he managing boards with this IPMAT ka preparation. So we're going to discuss everything about that. Welcome, Panshul. Welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, by the way.
Right, yes, Panshul.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, and we're going to let everyone join in. They're going to ask you their questions that how are you preparing, because a lot many students who are our subscribers, they are preparing for these top-notch universities, IPMAT, Delhi University, right? So these good colleges they're preparing for, but everyone has one thing in common, which you also have, and that is
Right.
12th class boards. So before we start ask the questions, let me ask you one question that I want 11th class students to hear that. So when did
Hmm.
you get to know about know about what IPMAT is at IIM? Because lot many students are aware about MBA but not IPMAT.
Exactly right. So this was back in 10th grade. I was halfway through my 10th, and my uncle asked me what I plan to do later. And I had no idea back then. I was clueless. I was not even sure what stream I'd go for. So that's when he told me. I told him I'm interested in management courses, and he told me about this. He asked me to research on it. That's when I found out that there are integrated programs by IIMs, multiple IIMs. That's so I went on Google, I researched. That's when I found out about the IPMAT program, the IPM. And around the time when my 11th grade was starting, everything was online. So everything, it was all very new to me, especially starting studying online. So that's how I discovered these exams. I went for what my interests were according to my subjects in 11th. After my according to the stream I've chosen, I chose commerce and maths, and
Okay.
that's when I found out I came across IPM.
So in 10th, you realized that you wanted to go for management, and then one of your relatives said that, okay,
Right.
might want to research on it, right? And then you decided, okay, they require mathematics, and then you decided commerce with maths. And
Exactly.
that is very wise of you. So a lot many students who are, right now watching this video, hi, hello, Five Finger Film. So nice to see you here. If you have any questions from Panchal, feel free to ask those questions. So a lot many students, Panchal, they ask me that, ma'am, I do not have maths, but I just got to know about IPMAT, and I'm very inclined towards it. So that is a very wise decision, right?
Right.
So very nice to hear that. Okay, you wanted to go to management, and then you researched, because a lot many students are probably looking at some others path. When you do your own research, guys, this is what happens. Even in your class 10th, you're able to understand what you want to do in life, even if you do not know what your career line is going to be, but still choosing a stream helps you if you kind of research in your class 12th, right?
Exactly.
And after your class 10th, when you started your mathematics, higher mathematics, that is a lot different from class 10th.
Right.
Suddenly that is a shock coming across, like, oh, I thought maths was nice. I
Exactly.
thought maths was fun, right? And suddenly you get all these questions. And what was your reaction to it? Like when you get to know that they are going to ask you higher mathematics questions in the entrance exam, and you take mathematics as your extra subject in your class 11th and 12th class stream. How did you manage? Did you start preparing for your entrance exam in 11th or 12th? Like what was your journey of starting preparation for IPMAT?
So I started preparation way back in 11th, but I did not jump into higher maths directly. There's a lot of other topics talking about TSD, time work, percentages, averages, progressions. all of that can still be covered with all your knowledge you have up until 10th grade. Other topics like logs, matrices, trigo, half of it we've still done in a 9th and 10th, but still talking about the other half, the one you have in 11th, the most dreaded subject.
Yeah.
Um, Topic, sorry. So that's when I started preparing for it. But I wouldn't be the perfect example when we're talking about higher maths here, because since 11th grade was entirely online, I was in a much more relaxed state. So 11th, I did not focus on math at all, school or entrances. In 12th, when we got to 12th, and I finally realized we started having offline school affairs, and that's when it really hit me that I probably should cover up everything that I've missed. So that's when I got extra tuitions. That's when I started doing. So I did 11th and 12th math. So not every topic of 11th is important, but a lot of them, especially trigonometry, is important. So that's how I started my prep for entrances for
Okay.
higher math
So
specifically.
I would like to ask you, you said not every topic of 11th is important, and we have been, we have been doing these sessions for IPMAT, BUJAT, and telling students that, okay, this is how, you should go about your class. 11th ka mathematics and 12th ka mathematics. And lot many students are like, ma'am, how much portion should I do? Like, how do you decide that which topics of 11th are important and which topics of 12th are important? Like, what kind of research helps you, or did you go for the previous year question papers, or what was your research that you came to this conclusion that, okay, I want to go ahead and prepare, rigorously for these topics, and maybe, give less attention to the other ones for the
Um,
entrance exam.
the best thing to do that would be by giving mocks. That's when you really see what kind of topics that come under all these entrances, what kind of topics you're not good at, what kind of things you particularly need to work on, and some things that you are just naturally good with, especially when it comes to math. Some people just naturally have their way in certain topics, while in others they really struggle. So this I would say depends individually from person to person. So you have to do a proper SWOT analysis, very introspective research.
Okay, okay, fair enough. So I've got this student who is asking me usually how much time do I need to give preparation for my entrances. Now I'll like to answer this first, and then I'm going to ask your views if they match with mine. So Bharat, this is a very subjective answer, I would say. This is a very personal answer. As a student, if you ask me, if someone gave me 20 days and I knew this entrance exam was there, I know I'm going to give my 1000%. So मेरे लिए उतना भी enough. ठीक है. But if I talk about certain students who are like who want to plan and then execute and then practice and then revise, ठीक है, you should have a proper plan hanging out there. Fine. So first thing first, that is, as we're talking with Panshul, and he's very nicely put it across that I researched, and that is something a lot many students do not do. So even if I tell you कि देखो this topic is important, by giving a mock, as Panchul said, you come across what all things are important. So first thing is understanding the syllabus of whatever exam you're going, whether it is IPMAT, DUJAT, or even a private university like Symbiosis or Christ, whatever they're going to ask, syllabus. And the second thing is coming across what are your strong points and then working on your weak points. So that is what I would say. If you ask me how much time, you should have like 15 days minimum before your main exam, so that you're just preparing for mocks, you're just giving mocks and you're analyzing them. If that much amount you have, if you have more time, right now is the right time, start preparing for it, right? And I would like to ask Panchul, like, Panchul, what do you think, what is the
I
right
agree
time
with
to start?
I agree with her, but at the same time, since I started my prep early, I'm a firm believer in that. Start as soon as you can. It's never too
Yeah.
late and it's never too early.
Okay, that is something, straightforward, like as early as you can. You got to know about this today. If you are a student who just realized, okay, IPMAT is just there, okay, IPM Ranchi is also accepting IPMAT in those score, I need to make sure that I score well, then yes, right now is the good point. And Khushi has a question for you. She says, have you taken a drop here,
No,
Panchal?
I'm in 12th. I
Y-
haven't taken a drop.
And I think Khushi's next question I'll ask you, that is, how are you managing these boards with entrance test? It is way too depressing.
It is, I agree with you. Especially when it comes to our field, commerce, the way you have to study, the way you have to tackle these subjects for entrances like reasoning or vocab, is very different from how we study in school. So
Yeah.
it really takes a different mindset studying both of those things, and I agree that can be an issue. I If I'm giving talking about what I personally do, is instead of trying to do everything in one go, just bifurcate things. So even 10 minutes for your entrance prep, and then start studying. So just so that you get in the mood of studying properly, then start studying for whatever board you're studying for. And then later, towards the end of your study sessions, you can give another 10-15 minutes to entrance prep. So instead of trying to do everything, clustering it, I would say bifurcate it.
Very, very, very nice advice, I would say. And trust me, it is easier said than done. If you
I
are in, I would say, if you know how to manage time, guys, okay, you can manage it, right? You can manage your boards, you can manage your entrance exam. And trust me, right now, I think Panchul, you are probably in the process of just giving mocks for the entrances because you have completed your syllabus, I believe. Can I say
Right.
that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you started giving the sample papers for your board exams for each and every subject?
Not really. I'm kind
Not
of
really.
lacking behind when it comes to my board syllabus.
So you're in the revision
So
process?
yeah, so I've just completed all my syllabus and I have pre-boards coming up next week. So I'll do my revision for now. And then we have two pre-boards this time. So by the second pre-board, I'm planning to catch up with everything.
Okay. So can I say like probably by this time you, as you said, ma'am, I'm done with my syllabus. At this time, if your pre-boards are next week, probably you're trying to have a sample paper done, or probably giving tests or a sectional test of a particular exam. Like if I say accounts,
Hmm.
okay, you probably want to go with the sample papers of CBSE or whatever. So if that is into your bucket list, or have you completed that?
No, that is exactly what's in my bucket list. Since my syllabus is over now, instead of revising chapter wise, I prefer to do it all at once because that is how it is going to come in exam, right? So that's how I plan to tackle this for now.
Another thing, guys. He did not even realize it, and he gave you an advice. He's like, that is how it is going to be asked in exam, right? And that is how you should be thinking, right? That is how you should be managing your time, and that is a very good takeaway from the last advice that Panchal gave us. He said, try not to just focus on little sections. Try to combine them and try to give mocks, and try to give the tests. And one more thing that he said, and I liked it. It was like, start with at least 10-20 minutes of entrance, right? And then when you understand what needs to be done, the next day you probably want to add those 10-20 minutes extra at the end of your boards exam preparation, or in between somewhere. Try to juggle these things, but juggling should be done effectively. ऐसा नहीं कि सब उड़ा रहे हो और एक चीज गिर रही है साइड में. Don't do that. Extra चीजें मत करो, ठीक है? Juggling time management is something that you should be doing. And there is one more question, ma'am. This February 25th is my personal interview for MET. Okay. Um, I think Bharat, I did a video on IPMAT ka interview process, right? So MET is going to be much, much, much lesser drilling than that. So you can go and refer to that video. वहाँ पे मैंने बहुत सारे questions बताए थे, what they can expect, ठीक है, out of you. So make sure you do that. And one thing, be confident. Second is, make sure you have the answer to tell me something more about yourself, or tell me something about yourself. You should be able to express who you are, right? Even if you're a student till your class 12th, you have achieved something. You're a human being, okay? You have been engineered till this point. So make sure you're doing that. And the third thing I would say is, please, please, please smile. a lot many students do not smile, and I do not understand why are you feeling so depressed. Your life has just started, and this is not end of anything, so make sure you smile. And for the number of questions, I've given you plenty of list in that video, you can refer to that. And Kushi has a question for you, Panchal. She says, have you started right away from the mocks, or did you start with topic wise and then going for the sectional tests? Like,
I did start topic wise
hmm,
because you have to have some idea
hmm.
about the topics, how each and every question is supposed to be tackled, and then went for the mocks. So if you haven't gone through the topics right now, I would, if I were you, I would pick them up.
Okay, so Kushi, I hope that answers your question. So Panchal is very clear about this, that he said he started with the basics. He researched on what was being asked and how it was being asked, and then he completed the syllabus and went for combined tests after individual practice of topics, and then he moved to the mocks. And right now he's practicing mocks as he has already completed the syllabus. Honestly, Kushi, if you talk about IPMAT, I think you are preparing for IPMAT, and what else are you preparing for?
All management entrances, so
Okay.
IPMAT, Symbiosis, Narsimunji, Xavier's, CUCT. Luckily we have that now. Um,
Luckily, okay, perfect. Now, another wisdom, dropped over here. So there is one more question. Last date of register. Acha, okay, that is a question for me. Manas, Christ is still allowing you to register. Simbi is still allowing you to register. You can apply for NARCI. Okay, I think you can still apply for IIM Rohtak. So these are the exams. UG80 you can still apply for. Okay, so all these entrance exams, they are still getting the registration process mein hai ye, right? You can go and register for them. If you have any questions, so just scroll down a little bit in the this our BBA channel, ठीक है, बायजूस का, वहां पे मैंने सबका फॉर्म फिलिंग वीडियो बनाया है, so you can go and check that. Okay, एक और question, ठीक है Panchal, and I won't be wasting much of your time as you have boards next week and you have much to prepare. When did you realize that, okay, right now I'm done with my syllabus? Because a lot many students are not satisfied with their topic wise preparation,
hmm,
right? So when
right.
do you realize that, okay, ये question तो शायद गलत होगा ही, कोई बात नहीं है ना? When do you realize that?
That you only realize that after giving a mock. It's ironical, you have to complete a syllabus for giving a mock, and once you give a mock, you realize you've done the syllabus. So,
Okay, so you're
give
saying,
them.
and how do you reach that realization of giving the mock? Like, I would try to say that because they have sectional time limits for IPMAT, right? For each and
Right.
every section. If you can give us what is your strategy, like how, which are the questions that you start first, and like, do you identify them? Do you like go for the scanning method first? Because there are plenty of things of strategies together that are floating around, and each one is good, but that depends on what serves you best. So what is
Exactly.
serving you best?
Exactly. So this is very subjective. Especially, there's no one particular strategy you can stick to. Everyone's different. Everyone deals with it in a different way. And I think a lot of people don't like this about IPM, how every section is timed, but you can see it as a blessing in disguise because majority of your work is already done. They've already decided how much time you're going to give to a section, right? Otherwise, you will always confuse if I give enough time to LR or did I give more time to Bonds or should I have done English quicker. So you can see that when it comes to IPMAT, you can see that as a blessing in disguise. And talking about the other things, go for whatever. There's a plethora of methods, just like you said. There's scanning, or you can just start by do all questions you can, or skip questions you can, or there's thousands of ways you can do it. So I would say just experiment, see what works best for you.
Okay, so like if I talk about the scanning method, guys, so scanning method is giving your first 2 minutes so that you randomly scan what is the level of like QA section, what is the level of LR section, what is the level of reading comprehension in verbal, whether you should be going first towards reading comprehension or shall you be leaving reading comprehension for the last. right? And as Panchul said, ma'am, it is a blessing in disguise. Okay, and everyone is going to get equal amount of time. Okay, so even if you're very good at one particular section, that is not going to be the savior one. So you have to prepare for each and every one. And then, having that being said, can you leave a question? Because a lot many students, because they were preparing for, like, I started preparing for trigno for like 1 month, and I kept on practicing these questions, and now it is ego basically. I cannot leave a question, take it from trigo, and that is something you should not be doing, I believe, right? So are you able to understand whether you can leave this question or not? That is one deciding factor. And how do you decide, Panchul, whether you're going to solve a particular question or not?
Okay, so these are a lot of things, and these are things you genuinely learn after you give them, after you do this. So what I personally do is it's very different. So let's say if you're talking about, let's take English. When it comes to paragraphs and passage reading, so I personally, I go through the questions first, then go through the passage so that I have in mind what I'm looking for first. Second, talking about quants, it can be very difficult leaving a question randomly once you're halfway through and you realize that this is going to be a long answer. So just, I would say, there's a very good technique, I think you would know about it, how you don't have to get the perfect answer, just ascertain the closest value, go through the choices, and that really helps. So
Okay.
that's how you can tackle for quants.
Yes. So I think if you are someone who has, like, you said you started preparing in late November or early December time, right? So that
Right.
is when you that was the time when you became like, okay, I want to be very serious about this. Okay, it is the very right time. So preparing for these 2.5 months, right? Preparing for these 2.5 months and then deciding कि okay मुझे mocks के लिए जाना है. Is it safe for me to say that there are still certain set of topics that you have not mastered yet, but you have understood the art of, okay, let me see the options, and probably that is how I'm going to solve this question, because you have practiced enough questions? Is that safe
Exactly.
to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing to take away from this session is that it's fine if you're not pro in a particular section or in a particular topic of a particular section, right? And that does not mean leaving that section. Okay, you still are going to solve basic questions of it. So if you're able to solve, did you solve NCRT, by the way? Of course, you're in class 11th and 12th.
Right, I had to NCRT was, but that was mostly for my boards prep.
Okay. Did you go for any extra mathematics ka preparation ke liye, any
Not
extra?
really, no. I'm lucky here. Mathematics comes naturally to me. So
Okay. Okay. Then I'm lucky here. Fine. So, fine. I think to understand for a fact that you guys still have time, because if you had mathematics in your class 11th and 12th, right? If you're a student who understand the basics of mathematics, you've already prepared for your boards, right? You can give, an honest try that you're going to work hard for these 2 months, and afterwards start giving your mocks. And if you haven't started doing it already, guys, you're wasting your time. Don't do it. And I think, Panchal, if you want to give an advice, whether the students who have mathematics in class 11th and 12th, shall they be giving one mock first to just to understand what type of questions will be there? Will that be helping, or just it's okay, like, try to
well,
solve questions?
again, that depends how much you have studied, because just having math, especially in 2 years that have been online, it really depends on how much you have studied. You have to really introspect here. Go
Okay.
through, I would say first go just look at what topics come in such exams, and if you feel like you've even heard of these topics, you can tackle any question that comes here, not get the right answer per se, but at least know the concept. Then sure, go for a mock first, or otherwise give it a little time, just let's say a week or a month, where you get acquainted with all the topics, and then go for the mocks.
last question about this particular mock that you secured rank 4 in, right?
Hmm.
So I want to ask that, um, if I want to know the easy, medium, or difficult level of this exam, this mock, what would you think? Like, was it easy for you? Was it medium for you? Was it difficult for you?
Compared to all the other mocks I've given, I found this one relatively easier. So this
Okay.
was not difficult, maybe medium, but for me personally, I found it very easy. I
Okay.
like the new method. Sorry, the new IPM 90-minute test. That also makes it easier for me because there's lesser questions to tackle. So I found this very easy.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, because it is not pressurizing you that much. Okay, I have these many questions of quants now. Your brain is
Right,
like, okay, 20 questions now. Okay, fine. Okay,
right.
I have to go and complete this cutoff. It is while you're solving your entrance exam, whatever question paper you have, is cutoff there in your mind? Like, do you feel like, okay, this much number of questions I'm going to attempt, is that in your mind?
It does, especially when you shift from a question to another. There's always written how many questions you've attempted, how many
Hmm.
questions you've left, and that does sometimes it even makes me really paranoid or anxious that I've not done it, that I'm running out of time, and that's just a participle of mock. That's how these mocks are supposed to go. That's how you learn that you're not supposed to look at that if it makes you nervous or if it gives you confidence. Then go ahead.
Okay, okay. But at the back of the mind, you have, certain number of questions that is, you have like, okay, I'm going to attempt at least these many.
Right, I should have done this, or I should do this, or I will end up doing this.
Okay, okay. So I would say all the best to you, because I think still the journey is still left till the day we reach the main exam hall and we're solving those questions. I wish all the very best to you. And also both आ रहे हैं, and as you said, you're preparing for them now, pre boards के लिए. ठीक है. So it was so nice talking to you, and it is so nice realizing that there are students who know how to manage things, because I would I know this is very controversial, and वो जो चीज जनरेशन का हमेशा रहता है, हमसे एल्डर जनरेशन ने हमारे लिए बोला था, हम तुम लोगों के लिए बोल रहे हैं. You guys have kind of, this pandemic has created a very big problem for you guys. You guys have forgot how to manage time. Lot many students are like, ma'am, time nahi. I was like, you are not traveling to your school, and that is a sheer time save ho raha hai wahan pe. You're not doing that, everything is but having that being said, problem bhi hai, agreed. ठीक है, but it is very nice talking to you. मुझे realize नहीं होता है कई बार जब मैं mind बना लेती हूँ कि यार ये बच्चे ना time manage नहीं करते. When I meet you guys who are managing time, I feel very good. I'm like, हाँ, faith restored. Okay, so I thank you so much for being here, Panshul, and
Thank you, Radha.
wishing you all the very best. And one question, just one question. If you're preparing for IPMAT, like this rigorous amount of hard work you're putting in, is it safe to say that, okay, Narsi symbiosis Christ is something that comes as, okay, bonus, I'll be clearing this, these are my choices yet to
I,
make.
I mean, backup की तरह है वो already तुम्हारे लिए. Even if you
Okay.
haven't given the test yet, backup है वो.
So working for the toughest exam does serve you for the easy ones, right?
It does, it does. No.
Okay, okay. So that is it from my side, guys. I hope Panchal answered all your questions. I hope I answered all your questions. If you have any more questions for your preparation, if you want to know anything else, you can always contact us. ठीक है, at BYJU'S Exam Prep आप download कर सकते हो, आप वहाँ पे help section में जा सकते हो, counselors को call कर सकते हो, मेरी videos पे आते हो, वहाँ पे आके तुम questions पूछ सकते हो. And seriously, it was lovely having you here, Panchal. मेरा मन नहीं करता जब भी ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं उनको बोलूं कि ओके बाय, आई फील लाइक कीप ऑन टॉकिंग, बट यू गाइस हैव सो मच टू डू. बहुत सारा टाइम जो है तुम लोग का पढ़ाई में जाता है. ठीक है, चलो, लेट्स कॉल इट अ डे देन. All the best. We are going to meet you at our toppers talk, so that when you secure a good rank, in a particular university, wherever you want to go to, right? So I'll make sure that I talk to my team. I'm like, Panchul ka rank aaya to please मेरे को interview लेने के लिए. ठीक है? I just make your parents proud. ठीक है?
Sure.
Bye everyone.